Hi guys, welcome back to my video. I am so excited that you're back here with me. Let's just jump straight into this self-care and story time. Okay, so for the first thing, I'm just gonna turn on my Mario Badescu face steamer and let her heat up. And then let's jump straight into the story time. So as you can tell from the title, I broke up with my therapist of 6 years. So I guess to start, this is so weird because of the steamer, but I'm gonna go with it anyways. So I guess to start, I met my therapist when I was 19 years old. I was going through such a rough patch in my life, and I just needed a space where I could process all of it. Basically, that's what therapy is. And recently I had a session with her that completely led me to the decision of us separating for both of our best goods. And I also want to preface this by saying, despite what this story is going to entail, I am eternally grateful for my therapist. I'm eternally grateful for our journey. She really helped me through a hard time in my life. She gave me the tools that I needed to be the woman that I am today. Despite my decision to move forward with another therapist, nothing can ever take away the tools that she gave me that I will carry for the rest of my life. So for a while now, I knew that me and my therapist didn't have, all of the same alignment in our views and the ways that we navigate the world. We didn't have the same walks of life, let's say. I worked with her mainly because during the time where I needed her, obviously she gave me such a good space to just be honest, to be myself. She built such a sense of safety and security around me because I had had a couple of therapists before who were horrible. And so she knew my experiences there and really worked hard to gain my trust. And so I've always really appreciated that. And our level of comfortability was one that was earned over time. That being said, I feel like because I had known my therapist for so long, it kind of blurred some of the lines between what is appropriate for our sessions and then where we're just going beyond the therapist-client relationship. And so that just looked like sometimes we would get into personal details about her life, go off topic, and the sessions wouldn't be necessarily solely surrounded around me. She told me that she viewed me as her sister, which I thought was so endearing at the time, but now I'm growing older, I'm just kind of realizing that we both played a part in what it looked like to just kind of maybe get a little bit too comfortable with each other. During our last therapy session, me and my therapist were talking. She said something along the lines of, the next part of my life, I want to be a teacher. I was like, oh, that's so amazing. I can really see you teaching women. And her reaction to that was just very visceral. It was something that I was not expecting at all. And it totally deterred the whole rest of our session. So when she responded, she said, but I'm not a feminist. And that really caught me off guard because A, I did not expect her to say that at all. B, I just couldn't understand the brain jump from oh, I can see you teaching women to I'm not a feminist. It just didn't make sense in my brain because I'm to me, teaching women doesn't make you a feminist, nor do I see a problem with being a feminist at all. Sorry guys, I was trying to do both at the same time, but clearly I have a problem multitasking. Also, jump scare. She's explaining her ideals basically, and her response to me saying that I think she should teach women equates it back to, what if my stories better benefit men? And I'm totally taken aback and confused this whole time because this isn't even the direction that I thought the conversation was gonna go in. I genuinely thought it was gonna be oh, I can see you teaching women. Great. Now let's pivot back to you. How are you doing? This conversation ended up eating the whole rest of our session, at least 30 minutes. She was late to her next session because she continued having this debate with me. A lot of the things that she was saying, I just genuinely did not agree with. A lot of the things that she was saying, I felt had no merit at all to, the society that we currently live in, especially when it comes to this idea around women and that women are supposed to be in this particular archetype. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna be very clear. I believe everybody should do what they want with their own lives. If you want to take pictures of your boobs and your butt and post it on social media, who the hell am I to tell you no? I'm not God. I'm not God. You're not God. Nobody on this earth that is walking is God. And so who am I to judge somebody else? More so, I think a lot of these judgments fail to take in the contextualization of these women's lives. Not everybody who is on an OnlyFans, not everybody who is working in the sex work industry, particularly since it was mentioned during our conversation has a life that allotted them to choose something different. And I feel like I'm as aware as I can be most of the time that not everybody has the same privileges as other people. Some people are born into wealth, some people are born into poverty, some people are born into families that hold rich values, some people are born into abusive households. And so without the contextualization of like what this person's life has been, how could I ever judge the person that they are today? It just doesn't make sense to me. And so I'm like obviously going back and forth with her about her ideals. I'm like, I just don't agree with this. That conversation really illuminated a lot for me. And we've had other uncomfortable conversations in the past where she's just free will shared her ideals about something, one thing or another. And I just kind of stood quiet because a part of me felt like I needed this person in my life. This person saw me at my worst. This person has known me since I was 19. I was willing to abandon what I needed in these sessions in order to continue our relationship moving forward. And after this conversation, it just really showed me how much I was still people pleasing, even in my therapy sessions. I think it was some of the assumptions that came with what she was saying that really made me uncomfortable and made me realize that like I'm really not aligned with this person in front of me. And for example, her saying that, you know, women want men to respect them and then post their boobs and their butt on Instagram. And I'm like, why does everything have to revolve around men? Since when did a woman's worth be measured by her attention that she can get from men or the respect that she can get from men? Like, if this woman is posting whatever on Instagram and it's making her feel good about herself, isn't that enough for everybody? Like, why do you care? Why do you care so much? And specifically, if this woman is coming from a place of being hurt and damaged and that's why she's seeking male validation in that way, aren't you supposed to be the one to hold space for her? Like, I think it was really just the lack of empathy in the conversation that disturbed me the most. Like, in my own life, I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. To me, you're innocent until proven guilty, right? Until you show me otherwise, which, you know, to some people, they like to do it the opposite way. It feels safer to them. But this is just like how I've always been, you know? To me, hearing my therapist, who I've known for a long time, just like spit those values out, I was just like, this is so crazy. Like, at one point, she was saying, you know, these women are on Instagram promoting that I have like the woman. They're like, you know, I have 70 bodies, like other people should have 70 bodies with me. And I was just like, who's saying that specifically, in detail, quickly? Like, who is saying that? Like, who's saying that? Like, who's saying that? And either way, if somebody is saying that, you're making a generalization around what one person's words around a movement where women are seeking empowerment and how to empower themselves and other women. Like, it was just so weird to me. It was so weird to me, and I think it just opened my eyes in a way that I was like, oh, I can't turn this off. I can't not see this now. And even after the session was going to end, like, she made a joke, was like, oh, like, maybe we can start a podcast called The Ode and the Ruthless. Like, clearly you have so much to say about this topic. Maybe we can talk about it not during our therapy session and we can have a real conversation because I feel like I can learn from you. And I just felt like it was so condescending because we just had a conversation. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we literally just had a conversation and you didn't exhibit any of those behaviors. I don't understand what you're saying right now. And then in the next session, I told her that, you know, I was so deeply uncomfortable. And to me, even her response to that reinforced my decision to get a new therapist. She was completely taken back by shock, which just let me know that she didn't have any like real awareness of what that conversation was doing to the client that she was working with, and that she was just really absorbed in her own experience, which I think is inappropriate. Second of all, she tried to apologize to me, but started the apology with, oh, I'm sorry that over the last 40 years since I've been born and seen these different political climates change, that I have the perspective and point of view that I have today. That's not an apology. That's not an apology. Like, that's not an apology. I told her that. I was like, you sound so defensive right now. And like, that's not an apology. If you're gonna apologize for something, say, I'm sorry. Period. Nothing else needs to come after that, or else it's not an apology. Yeah, it was a very, very illuminating part for me. Ultimately, I'm not seeing her anymore. I had my last session with her, and it was kind of really sad because, again, this is somebody that I've known since I was 19 years old. And I think I just kind of have like a wound around letting go of relationships. I feel like my whole life I've just always had to let go of people. It's not that I wanted to, it was that the people that were in my life, I just wasn't choosing correctly. I was pouring into the wrong people and expecting things that they couldn't give me. And so having to cut her off as well, it triggered something in me. You know, it triggered kind of this feeling of like mix between abandonment and a mix between like, oh, I'm just gonna protect myself, you know, like I'm just gonna turn off all my feelings. I'm not gonna feel this right now, and I just have to keep moving forward. And I can't fully process this thing of like letting go of my therapist because it's a lot. Like I've literally known this woman for 6 years. And at the same time, I think it just speaks to the amount of growth I've had. And even through her, it's like I've always struggled so much with being able to articulate myself, being able to set boundaries, being able to stand up for myself and just like speak when I feel uncomfortable. And in this moment, I finally had the courage to, you know, like it was just like another one of those moments where I just felt like I will give somebody 1,000 chances, 1,001 chances actually, 1,002, maybe 1,003 probably, but somewhere along the way, there's gonna be a last chance. And once that last chance happens, it's just like, oh, I'm done. That's definitely the point that I feel like I got with her, but it's also a testimony to my own growth. I am clearly now seeing, about to turn 25 this month, that I'm capable of using my voice in the way that I need to. And speaking upon like the inner child wounds and stuff, like I'm not gonna get in trouble. Like this is the woman speaking, you know, this isn't the little child who was scared to say what she feels because she feels like she's just gonna get shut down and nobody's gonna like listen to her. You know, I am the woman that my inner child needs me to be. And I'm the one who can draw boundaries. I'm the one who can say exactly what she feels despite my legs shaking, despite my voice shaking, despite me being scared and like fearful. Like I can still do it. And it's healthy for me to communicate my feelings, even if the person across from me doesn't receive it, reacts in a negative way, you know, chooses whatever route forward that they want to, believes whatever they want to about me, you know. And I think I've come to this place of just like radical acceptance about that. Like I truly cannot control outcomes. I cannot control other people. And the best that I can do is remove myself from that situation. Speak up about what I feel. Don't be passive about it and continue moving forward. And the reason I wanted to share this was because I want other people who also may struggle with, you know, exercising their voice and speaking their feelings to know that you're safe. It's okay. Like you can do it scared. Yeah, the other party that's across from you may not respect it. They may make you a villain. They may be hurt. That is nothing that you can control. And the most that you can do is do what's best for yourself. Say what you feel. Speak your truth. Live your truth. And align your life in the ways that you want to. And I think that was something that just, you know, as a people pleaser and the people pleaser within me, I just always felt like a horrible person. Like I always felt like a horrible person whenever I needed to communicate something that bothered me. And this moment empowered me. I now know that despite the outcome of a situation, even if it's not favorable, it's still okay. I'm gonna be okay at the end of the day. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm gonna wake up. Time will pass. Time will heal. Life will move on. The worst possible outcome isn't the other person being mad. The worst possible outcome is you abandoning yourself, letting all of those feelings sit in your body and become passive about it, not speaking at all, harboring those feelings within you, and now your whole energy is messed up. Now you're just sitting with all this uncomfortability, and it's scary and it's hard, and I know that firsthand, but it's worth it. It really is worth it. And so I am on the last step of my skincare routine. I'm just putting on some sunscreen, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It definitely is a lot different than my other videos. But I really do like this self-care and story time. I think this might be a reoccurring theme. I hope that you walk away, if you're somebody who struggles with using their voice, knowing that it's okay to. I empower you to. I empower you to speak your feelings. I empower you to say your truth. I empower you to even witness in your own body what that feels like. Even if you're scared, you can still do it. Even if you have this anxious feeling in your stomach and in your heart and it's like, this is the last thing I would want to do right now. Like, why would you force me to do this? It's for your own good. That's why. You deserve to take up space just as much as others do. You deserve for your voice to be heard. You deserve for your autonomy to be respected. And you deserve to live your life in the ways that you want to and have others meet you where you're at. And then you can safely meet others where they're at. And so that is my video for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you know how to use your voice, please comment some tips down below for others like me. Maybe some words of motivation, some empowerment words so that we can get that energy too. And so yeah, okay. I will see you guys later. Bye.